when Speedy says, what happened to my voice? Where I said, okay, Speedy, when did that weird talking start? Then Speedy says, I don't know. Then I said, wait, that must be that purple robot again. Where I said, okay, if I find that purple robot, I know who it is. Where Nebble says, hello again. Then I said, wait, I know you. Where Nebble says, yes. Where I said, wait, I know that purple robot is Nebble. Where I said, okay, Speedy, I found the purple robot. It's Nebble. Where Speedy says, it's Nebble. Where I said, Nebble, what are you doing this to me? Where I said, Nebble, what are you doing this time? Where Nebble says, I want you and your skunk to test out my tickle table. Where Speedy says, what? Why? Where I said, Nebble, you want me, Speedy, to talk? Then Nebble says, no, I expect you to laugh. Where Speedy says, stop that. Where I said, okay, Nebble, let me, Speedy, go. Where Nebble says, forever. Armand, okay, Speedy, I got a security camera who took my story. Where I said, okay, Speedy, when we were like this, then I know who took my story. Nebble. Armand, okay, Speedy, Nebble must have made a fake video of the two of us arguing. I said, okay, we gotta stop that, Nebble. Where Nebble says, let me go, I made it. Where I said, alright. I said, okay, Gibby, turn off the lights. Then Nebble said, okay, Speedy, and I'm not scared of you two. Where I said, well, we'll see about that, Nebble. Where I said, okay, Nebble, get ready to be tiny. Where Nebble says, let me go. Where I said, where Speedy says, Nebble, you're tiny. Where Nebble says, yes.